So you're going to boarding school. You're a little nervous, you don't know what to do to prepare. Well, you've stumbled upon the right video because today I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about boarding school. I'm gonna cover packing, preparing for school, what daily life is like, social life, living with a roommate, and just health and well-being stuff. I'm gonna be giving you so much information, so grab a pen and a piece of paper and take some notes because I really want you to take something out of this video. I made another video a year ago. I still stay true to everything I said in that video, so if you want to watch that after this, I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's get right into it. First, we're gonna talk about what you need to pack for boarding school, and I'm gonna list everything that you need to bring in order to survive there. So first, clothes. Don't bring too much. Don't pack your entire wardrobe. You're not gonna need it, and you're gonna be on campus most of the time, so you're really not dressing up to go anywhere. People see you all the time. No one really cares what you're wearing. So bring some comfy t-shirts, bring some tops because you would go out sometimes. And then for bottoms, just bring some staples like jeans, dress pants, sweatpants, and whatever you're like more comfortable in. Bring hoodies. You're gonna want them. Trust, because when you're at school, you really just want to be comfortable. Other clothes that you might want to bring is formal wear. You'll never know when you'll need it. And maybe a dress for school dances and all that. If your school has uniform, bring uniform. And if your school has dress code, bring a bunch of that too because you're going to be wearing that every single day. And then if you're going to somewhere that's colder, then bring some coats, heat techs, whatever is going to keep you warm. If you're going to like warmer places, then bring the clothes that are more suitable for that. For shoes, if you're going somewhere super snowy, snow boots, you're going to need them. Sneakers, for sure, you're gonna wear them every day. Heels, if you're going to school dances and you want to wear heels, bring those. Sport shoes, so if you're an athlete, whatever sport you're doing, bring those shoes. And also everything that goes with it, if you know what I mean. Like if you're a soccer player, bring your cleats, shin guards, and your knee-high socks. Bring what you need for the sport. And then last but not least, don't forget to bring your undergarments and socks. And that's basically everything you need to bring for clothing. Moving on to your bedroom, this might be the biggest category because that's where you're going to be living. For your bedding, bring mattress topper. I cannot tell you how much this will change the comfort of your bed, because after putting the mattress topper on my bed, it has become my favorite place ever because it's just so comfortable. Just the dorm beds are, they're not great. And then of course bring your sheets. Definitely check with the school what size you want to get. Usually it's twin size, but you never know if the school has like something different. And then bring a comforter and pillow. I would say bring like one main pillow for what you're going to sleep on. And then if you want to bring like stuffed toys, throw blankets, and more pillows to make your bed just a lot more comfortable, you can bring those too. And then for storage, you're going to need hangers for all of the clothes that you're bringing and closet organizers. My roommate had one of these, which I think is really helpful. I had these that I put in the bottom of my closet to put my jeans to organize them better. You might also want under bed storage boxes. For this though, you want to make sure it fits under your bed. This year I actually bought like a big bin and it didn't fit under my bed, so that's my mistake. If you can, just go to school first, measure out how much space you have under your bed, and then buy the storage boxes. And if you have a loft bed, then don't get one. And then you're gonna need desk organizers. I have these from Target. I think they're perfect. And you'll also need a laundry basket. I've been using this one for 2 years, and now I have this one from IKEA. Definitely remember to get a laundry basket that has handles with it because you're gonna have to bring it to the laundry room and do your laundry. And then you might want some decor to go around your room as well. I brought a bunch of posters, vines, and fairy lights. It's really just to make your room feel a lot more cozier and just more at home, but it's totally optional. If that's not something you want to do, then it's okay. If you're someone that journals like me, bring a journal. My first year of boarding school, I filled up my whole entire journal because being in boarding school is a lot of character development. If you're a reader, bring a book or two. You might not have a lot of time to read them, but it will be nice to have something comforting to read around. And next is electronics. Bring your chargers for any devices that you have. For your phone, your tablet, your laptop, like whatever it is, bring the charger for it. You might want to bring extra just in case you lose it or break it. You're gonna want a power strip as well. You'll never know where your outlet is gonna be in your room. And then for bathroom items, you're gonna need towels, either big shower towels or small washcloths. You're gonna need a shower caddy for the communal bathrooms. My second year I actually changed to using little trays. Both are great, it's just really personal preference. You're gonna have to also bring your toiletries, so shampoo, body wash, conditioner, and plus whatever you use during your shower routine. And then you're also gonna need toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss for oral hygiene. And back to the shower, you might want shower shoes. Communal bathrooms are not the cleanest, so having designated shower shoes might be helpful. And if you want to be fancy, you can bring a bathrobe. I didn't use it, but I definitely see how it could be really helpful, so you don't have to hassle in trying to change in the communal bathroom. And then you want to bring your cosmetics as well, so your makeup, just whatever you already use. Hair care, if you have like a very extensive hair care routine, bring all the products, and that goes with skincare as well. And I want to stress to bring moisturizer, and then you might need makeup remover, deodorant, and perfume as well if you want to smell good. And moving on to kitchen stuff, every school is different with the cooking policy. My school didn't let us cook. We were only given a microwave, so I just brought a microwavable bowl and utensils, fork, spoon, and chopsticks. I don't think any schools will allow you to have a knife. I'm not sure though. But if you actually have a full-on kitchen that you can use in boarding school, then you might want to bring more kitchen supplies. And then for actual school supplies, you want to bring like the normal notebook and binders, pen, pencils, highlighters, your calculator, your laptop, and your backpack or tote bag. I tried to use a backpack and I kind of gave up after like 3 months because I just kept going back to my dorm after a couple classes, so I didn't really need a full-on backpack. I just changed out my books throughout the day. And for health and safety, you might want to bring some first aid things like band-aids, your medications if you have any. You might have to hand it in to the health center and for the school to take care of the medication, but remember to bring that. And other miscellaneous stuff is just your documents, your IDs, if you're an international student, your visas. And then last but not least, bring some snacks, either from home or anything. Just bring something that reminds you of home. Okay, now that packing is out of the way, let's actually get into what boarding school is like. So before you actually attend boarding school, you might want to prepare a little bit. What I would recommend is to look at the school's website. Just familiarize yourself with the school's values, their traditions, and their rules. Usually under the mission statement, you can see all of this stuff. But I want to talk about rules as well, because on the school handbook, they're going to talk about what is allowed in boarding school and what is not, and what could potentially get you in trouble. I'm sure they're going to stress it when you first go to school, but you might want to read it over beforehand just to get yourself prepared for that. And plus in the handbook there's usually the dress code, so if your school has a really strict dress code, you might want to know beforehand. And other than that, you can also prepare by doing your academic schoolwork, because I'm sure there's gonna be summer homework or summer readings, so go and do that as well. You just stay on top of things as soon as you can. Going into daily life, I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of how a day is like in boarding school. This is definitely gonna be different for every single school, but for my school, we had a very strict schedule. So your whole day is basically planned out for you. You don't really have much personal free time. Usually you wake up, you go to breakfast or not. I usually don't, just to give myself a little bit more time to sleep. You go to class, you just have a normal full day of classes, just like normal school. And then right after school, you have extracurricular activities. I did soccer and then I did theater, crew. And for my boarding school, extracurricular activities are required, so you need to do it. But I would definitely recommend it because I think it's a really good way to make friends, just to touch a little bit on social life first. Most of my close friendships come from meeting them through the extracurricular activities. After you have your extracurricular activities, it's usually dinner. My school did this thing where we had formal dinners every Mondays and Wednesdays, where Basically, you just sit there with an assigned group of people and you just try to socialize with them, and also with a faculty family. It was kind of annoying at times, but ultimately it was really nice to be able to like connect with faculty on a personal level. And then after dinner, we had this thing called study hours where they basically take our phones and we study for like 2 hours. And then we would meet together as a dorm to like just talk about some housekeeping things every single day. And then you'll have like a little bit of free time and then you go to sleep. That's kind of how every single day of my life was in boarding school. I'm sure it's very different in every single school, but that's just my experience. I did vlog like literally my whole boarding school experience, so if you want to watch those videos, I'm gonna link it up here. And something like I didn't realize going into boarding school is that you're gonna be with people 24/7. Like, you're never alone. You're always with people. I don't know why I didn't think about this at first, but it definitely affected me a lot because I'm very introverted and I need alone time to like recharge my social battery. So being around people all the time was so hard to adjust to. So let's go into social life and talk a little bit about that. So your social life really depends on you. The school experience is what you make of it. I think I really tried my best to just live my dream life and just try to enjoy my whole entire experience. And I know a lot of people that hated their boarding school experience, but I really think it is what you make of it. If you surround yourself with the right people, and if you really try to go out and be involved in the community, you could have the best time of your life. I had so much fun, like genuinely, I had so much fun. And it all started with me just attending events. And it's scary. It's really scary to take that first step to just show up to an event with a bunch of strangers, but this is how you're gonna meet people and potentially meet your best friends. I said it in my last video, but I'll say it again. Don't be afraid to be cringy. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Like, it's gonna happen anyway. Not everyone's gonna like you, so just really embrace like who you are. You'll attract the people that are like you, and stop trying to be like better than everyone. If you're like, ew, that's such a weird event, ew, why are they doing that, and just constantly judging other people, you're not gonna have any fun at all. You're not gonna have any fun because the people you're judging, they're probably having the best time of their lives attending those events. So just don't be the Grinch. Be nice to people because your positive energy really does attract other people that has like the same values as you. Plus, people don't know you, and if you feel like you're not good enough for anyone, you are, by the way, but if you just feel so insecure, just know that no one there knows who you are. This is a time where you can reinvent yourself, be the best version of yourself. And I don't want to say like be fake, but like fake it till you make it, because going into a new environment, you really just have this space where you can be whoever you want. No one here knows you, so just take advantage of that. But yeah, but if you're like a social butterfly and you're very extroverted, you're gonna be fine. People are gonna want to socialize because everyone's just trying to make friends in the beginning of the school year. So embrace that like beginning of school year time and just connect with people. Everyone's looking to make friends, so you're gonna be fine. I will say though, something that like really shocked me was the fact that there's a split between day students and boarding students. I feel like I was kind of afraid to admit that, but it's there. And I thought it was just my school, but I talked to many of my friends that goes to different boarding schools, and even in college, there is a split between people that live on campus and commuters. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it's definitely there, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Moving on to talking about your roommate or roommates. So in boarding school, you probably will get a roommate. This could be one other roommate or 3 other roommates. And in my comments, someone actually told me that they have 7 other roommates. I've only ever lived with 1 other person, but if you have 7 other roommates, I really don't know what to tell you, because honestly, I wouldn't know what to do either. But I think the most important thing about having a roommate is really communicating with them. I said this last time as well, but communication is really key, because when you live with someone, it's really easy to start getting annoyed with them over like really tiny little things because you're just with them all the time and you're just not used to it. You need to keep in mind that your roommate cannot read your mind, and this goes both ways because you both have to be trying to make the roommate thing work in order to have like a good experience. But everyone comes from different cultural backgrounds and just different living situations, so you never know if something might be very normal for them but you feel very uncomfortable about it. So you have to communicate and tell them about it in order for them to know, or else they're just gonna think it's something normal and they're gonna be confused why you're just suddenly mad at them. I know a lot of schools do this, but there's this thing called a roommate agreement where in the beginning of the school year you set a bunch of rules for each other and just agree on things like bringing guests to the room, sharing things, and just little things like that. Just talk it through in the beginning, because this person that you're living with is the person that you're gonna come home to every single day. So it would be really terrible if you have a really bad relationship with them. You don't need to be friends with them, but you need to have a good dynamic with them, because that way you're both gonna have a better experience. For my second year of boarding school, I chose my roommate. I actually roomed with my best friend, and it was the best experience ever. I know people say that like rooming with your best friend is such a risk because you'll end up hating each other. Definitely not the case for me. I had the best year rooming with her. Like, we had the best time ever and it was just so fun. And I think a lot of what it was is how comfortable we are with each other and how comfortable we are talking to each other. We're just so straightforward. We both know that we're not saying things with a bad intention. Like, for example, if my roommate were to be watching a TV show and it was super loud, I would just tell her like, oh, do you mind like lowering the volume a little bit? And if you don't know that person, that could totally come off as them trying to attack you. So just always just think that they're coming from a good place and that they're not trying to attack you. And even if they come off like that, just try to remain calm and don't start an argument over little things, because that could really just set off the vibe of the room and you really wouldn't want that. There's so much more that I can talk about with rooming with someone, but if you have any more questions, just let me know and I'll try my best to answer them. But we're gonna move on to academics. So for academics, I think this is very similar to just normal school. I don't think there's a significant difference in a boarding school, but what I want to say is to just really try with your academics. Don't just give up on it because you're at school and you have so much other things to worry about, but really try your best to learn. It can get hard sometimes because your boundaries of your personal life and your school life could get blurred because you're on campus all the time, but try to set yourself some boundaries. I think I worked really hard during my time in boarding school, and honestly I think it was worth it. Like, I learned a lot and I feel good about what I learned. So just try your best. I know it could be hard. So something that really helped me with that was having friends that would study with you. That was so important for me because studying in a group, we're kind of like peer pressuring each other to work hard and do work and not slack off. And being with friends, you can like more clearly set a boundary. Like, let's go to the library and study for 2 hours. After that 2 hours, get away for a little bit. Do something that makes you happy. Don't stress about school for a little bit, and then you can revisit it later. That's what I'll say about academic life. And finally, I also want to touch on health and well-being. So physical health and mental health. With physical health, I want to talk about food. I grew up in Hong Kong, spent like 15 years of my life there, and moving to the United States, it's definitely hard to adapt. If you're just going to boarding school in the same country, then this probably wouldn't apply to you. But for me, it was really hard to adapt to eating American food for every single meal. And I'm gonna be so transparent here. I gained like 15 pounds in the first year of being in boarding school, and it was so shocking to me, and I definitely felt like scared that something was wrong because I was like gaining so much weight over such a short period of time. But I talked to my friends about it and everyone was having a similar experience. If they were coming from another country, we all had the experience of just gaining a lot of weight really quickly. And I just want to tell you that if that happens to you, don't be so hard on yourself because you're really trying to adapt to a whole new life. I think for me, it definitely was not just the food that was hard to adapt, it was also the stress of not being in control of my own schedule. And mind you, I wasn't like lazy or anything. I was competitively training for soccer every single day. I was always staying active, but still I did gain a bunch of weight. So connecting to that, talking to your friends is so good for your mental health. Not only your friends, you can also talk to your dorm parents or your school counselors because they're there to help. They're really there to help. And in my experience, all the faculty that I've encountered are so supportive because they're really just there for you to talk to or ask for advice. So don't try to keep everything to yourself because if you're struggling, there's possibly someone else that's also going through the same thing as you. And especially if you're like new to boarding school and it's hard to adapt, maybe you're homesick, maybe you're not used to the food, anything like that, talk to someone about it because I guarantee you someone else is feeling the exact same. And I think that was kind of a way that I bonded with most of my best friends. And yeah, so really just try to take care of yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself because you're navigating something big, something new, so give yourself space to grow and don't be so mean to yourself. From my experience, my first year, I talked to a bunch of people, had a big group of friends, really experiencing everything, but the second year was when I really found my group of people that I felt so comfortable with and just my best friends for life. Friendships made in boarding school are just so special because you're with each other all the time. You could have sleepovers with each other. You can have very late night conversations. And it's honestly just such a great opportunity. So if you're going to boarding school, try to embrace it and make the most of it. And that concludes everything I want to tell you. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer all of them. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck and take care.